Is KYMA First News 11.
Well, this evening on First News 11, we're going to depart from our normal format to deal with a subject that will affect or has affected virtually every public school student in our viewing area, bilingual education. Our California viewers have already been through this battle, and our Arizona viewers are in the opening stages. Tonight, the pros and cons of bilingual education. First News 11's Chip Yost reports.
To teach in the native tongue?
Yeah. Two more. Two more. Very good.
Or not to? That's the question Arizona voters may soon have to decide if a group called English for the Children has its way.
The goal of English for the Children Arizona, the goal is for all children to be instructed in English when they enter the schools.
Dugan, who is also the principal of Glendale High School just outside of Phoenix, says bilingual education is an idea that has failed Arizona students and cites a recent report by State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Lisa Graham-Keegan.
The program for kids who are not proficient in English, we evaluated how many kids were actually successfully learning English. The figure was just abysmally low. Last year it was like a 3% figure, so that was just totally unacceptable, of course.
Keegan stopped short of blaming the practice of bilingual education for those numbers, but does say serious reform is needed. Bilingual education is a practice that has been endorsed and used by hundreds of Arizona schools for 30 years, including Rio Colorado Elementary School in San Luis, located less than 1 mile from the Mexico border. The students in this second grade class spend half of their day getting subjects such as reading, writing, and math instructed to them in Spanish by Ms. Marceau, then spend the rest of their day with Ms. Gearhart, where she uses various methods to teach the students English, never speaking to them in their native tongue.
Yeah, but in English. It's not a sheep. Goat.
Ms. Marceau says allowing the students the thrill of learning the same things kids in English-speaking classrooms are learning goes a long way in building their self-confidence as they develop.
It lifts up their self-esteem and that there's respect for themselves, and at the same time, they're understanding the concept. And at the same time, wow, I can express myself.
That's totally false. Now, children should be given early academic successes, but the best type of success they can be given is being taught how to read and write and speak English.
Software developer Ron Unz authored California Proposition 227, which eliminated the wholesale use of bilingual education in the Golden State this past June. Hoping to mimic that success, Arizona's English for the Children movement brought Unz onto its team. But just like in California, neither Unz nor his initiative was welcomed by everyone.
I take it as an insult that somebody from California would try to come into Arizona, dictate to the districts in this school what kinds of curriculum we should be offering in our school.
Lopez is one of bilingual education's staunchest supporters and recently introduced a bill aimed at strengthening its use. Like many advocates of bilingual education, Lopez believes it takes 7 to 12 years to see the dividends of the program in students. Although he agrees the current state of bilingual education in Arizona is troubling, he says that what it needs is mending, not ending.
We are not defending the data that is coming out of these reports. We are extremely disappointed. But it only makes our point that bilingual education needs to be reformed.
But some state policymakers who also don't agree with the English for the Children movement to ban bilingual education in the public schools do agree with one of the sparks that moved them to action, the belief that parents should have more say in how their children are taught.
The movement for English for the Children, what they're looking for is more parental control. I think they're frustrated because over the years, they feel that they've not been listened to. When they believe their child shouldn't be in bilingual education programs, many of them felt that they were being told by school districts, you don't know what you're talking about, and we're going to decide for you.
And in California, more parental control seems to be the result. Schools can no longer put children in bilingual programs unless their parents first sign a waiver.
So in the primary grade, what we found was we asked the parents, what do you want? We provided them with 3 options: a mainstream English class, a sheltered English immersion class, which was going to be at least 95% in English for those students who were not competent in English, and then we offered them a traditional bilingual program.
45% of Calexico's elementary schools' parents chose to keep their children in traditional bilingual classes, while 30%, including David's mother, chose to put their children into sheltered English immersion.
I chose the shelter program, shelter English, because I have 2 other kids, and it took them like 5 years in regular classes in order for them to get to learn English.
David now spends all day being immersed in English lessons. Sanchez says so far the results are dramatic, and that he is learning English at least a 75% faster rate than his siblings did in bilingual, or as she calls them, regular programs. But Nilsa Flores' father is just as happy with his decision to keep her in a bilingual classroom, just 2 doors down from David's.
And since we live in a border town, people from across the border come over here to buy goods or buy services, and bilingual is a must for us over here. I'm very happy that the school district offers this kind of programs that will help prepare our kids to be competitive in the future.
And if you want your child to be competitive, one thing virtually everyone we talked to in this story did agree on is know what's going on in your child's classroom. And if you find something that works, do everything you can to make sure your child's school provides it. In San Luis, Arizona, this is Chip Yost, KYMA, First News 11.
Well, tomorrow KYMA will talk to Arizona Governor Jane D. Hull, who was herself an educator at one time, and get her take on the issue.